that's a smooth hinge. You know, I can even pretend to be surprised. We have tested a lot of budget laptops in recent years, and the Asus Vivobook line has often tried to convince us with a classy upgrades. Today we have a honor to finally review the E1504 FAB version. This one here is clearly a home office machine, but it could perform well in many more demanding tasks, and it's also usable for light gaming if you use it wisely. As far as benchmark go, the Asus A1504 is punching above its weight despite looking rather modest at first. That said, usually it's not easy to perform above average with entry specs. That's why we wanted to test a version with more memory. Besides the legendary design, faster processor, bigger memory and the tiny price tag are the main points of this laptop. But are all these enough to give a competition a good hangover? Here is the original box. It looks like Asus trying to impress already on its outside with a special message. Otherwise it's a still typical Eco box. Let's open this miracle. We can see its box contains usual stuff like laptop, charger and some papers. The manual instructions are really epic, almost worth reading twice. The E1504 is a still modern looking laptop, though its build parts are simple here. On the outside it's still built entirely of the plastic, but clean and smooth black texture lines really look cool. The screen lid has a stylish logo on the side, which looks like a nice touch to hide an otherwise smooth black surface. So let's open the lid. Look at those buttons and be amazed by a backlit keyboard. It even has a stealthy button for power. There is a minimum flex if you press the screen corners or press the keyboard deck. It feels somehow sturdier and more classy to the touch. The buttons and touchpad are well built, fitting perfectly with the frame. When you press on it, you can feel plenty of travel and you don't need a lot of force to register the input. The slightly rounded flat buttons aren't stiff or loose. The keyboard itself has all important buttons and it's very easy to see all symbols on the keys. And you also have 3-level backlight. But there is only one color, so if you want more colors you will need to check out the budget gaming laptops. The trackpad is spacious and works well for the beginners. Of course, if you need more precision, it's still best to connect a mouse. In the corner there is also fingerprint scanner on some versions. As I would expect of a laptop from the Vivobook series. It has all essential ports and even more. The right side has audio, 3 USB ports and 1 HDMI. The last USB port in the corner is also for the charging. And that's not all, you also have 1 extra USB slot on the right side. I had no problem setting wireless connection. The almost 16-inch IPS screen has Full HD native resolution. It is sharp and has above average colors. So the display does a good job displaying web pages, documents, and looking at it from the sides renders the picture attractive. If we talk about black levels and picture uniformity, they are below average, but it's mostly not visible unless you watch space in dark room. This laptop has an anti-glare display with 250 nits brightness and offers around 60% color gamut, which is average in this class. It will be good for everyday office and web use, but if you want 30% better colors, then go with OLED screen versions, which also have a lot better black levels. If we talk about Windows performance, Asus outfitted the A1504 FABQ with a good cooling system when it's fully loaded. The SSD drive booted Windows 11 in responsive 10 seconds, and this is comparable result with many Ryzen 3 processors with 16 gigs of RAM memory. Benchmark-wise, it does quite stack up to the best identically equipped laptops. The Ryzen 3 processor in the Vivobook performed well and without destructible fan noise. I can easily praise the good fan design, so the keyboard and touchpad were effectively cooled. Of course, it can get louder when you play games or edit videos. Let's talk about speed. So, with some tabs open in the web browser, one which was streaming video, and we also have open Office in the background, there wasn't any annoying lag with scrolling and switching between apps. We tested some games to see if it would have an overdrive. Turns out, the graphics for classic games were smooth though. I'm pretty sure that it can run many popular online games on medium quality. Radeon integrated graphics offers good performance for simple games. However, if you want to play more advanced online games like Crimson Desert, then it's still best to go with GeForce GTX or RTX laptop. The Asus E1504 FA comes with a thrilling 42 watts battery. What that means is you will see a little below average battery life when the laptops run web apps. On battery test, which involves continuously surfing the web over Wi-Fi, the battery lasted more than 6 hours, but it should last up to 8 hours if you lower screen brightness below 60%. This device has a pair of tiny budget speakers hidden below the keyboard. The end result is average audio quality with limited max volume that somehow still fills a small room. The mid-range frequency are well balanced and comparable with similar laptops.
Show you the Galaxy for what it truly is.
They are loud enough for watching videos, but you can't expect much more than average muffled audio. In terms of low bass, it's still very subtle. It's good enough for a small room, otherwise it's still best to connect a Bluetooth speaker. It'll be okay for streaming videos, as long you are not using it too close to the assembly line. The Asus A1504 FAB has certainly shown a lot of potential this year. It is well equipped and provides responsive multitasking performance, easily able to keep you working on bigger office projects or even playing some games. Thanks to its convincing performance and thin design, it will easily rival the best in its class. The keyboard and touchpad are above average, while the speakers could be louder. Screen is decent, okay, it still has average colors, so if you want more accuracy, go with OLED version. It isn't cheap, but if you want just right amount of quality and power in the laptop, I believe this one will still be a good choice for many users out there.